Cameron grew up in the shadow of his older sister, Lily, whom the whole family always considered a shining star. From an early age, Lily received attention and love that Cameron could only dream of. Lily is not only beautiful, but also has innate talent in every field, from singing, dancing to painting. Family gatherings always revolved around Lily, as people asked her to perform famous songs, and the thunderous applause for her never seemed to stop. Meanwhile, Cameron stood quietly in a corner, trying to blend into the shade of the trees in the backyard, as if hoping everyone would forget his presence. Cameron's parents did not hide their preference for Lily. They took Lily to art, vocal, and dance classes, spending all their time and money developing her talent. Meanwhile, Cameron is left behind, finding solace in old books on the shelf. Even though she didn't say it, she clearly felt the difference. The sweet compliments for Lily and the sighs at the mention of Cameron made her heart ache. Cameron doesn't hate her sister, but sadness and feelings of abandonment hang over her like a shadow. Sometimes she wondered if she did something wrong, or if she was simply not good enough. Every time he heard his mother and father praising Lily, Cameron just wanted to scream, "I'm here too! Look at me!" But instead of doing that, she just remained silent, swallowed her tears, telling herself that she had to find another way to prove her worth. While Lily is surrounded by a halo of attention and applause, Cameron finds solace in the dusty old books on the shelf. Each page opens a new world, where she doesn't need to compare to anyone, where she can be herself. Stories of foreign lands, adventures, and the mysteries of history become her companions, helping her escape from her feelings of abandonment. But no matter how captivating the pages are, they cannot completely ease the pain Cameron feels every time her family directs all their love and pride at Lily. Amid these lonely days, the only person who seems to understand Cameron is Aunt Maggie. Unlike the rest of the family, her aunt did not set expectations or compare her to Lily. Auntie found Cameron when she quietly hid behind the house or in the treehouse, always with a book in her hand. "Where are you adventuring today, Cameron?" her aunt often asked, her eyes sparkling with joy when she saw her engrossed in the story she was reading. Moments with Aunt Maggie are like a small light in the darkness, a place where Cameron can temporarily forget his sadness and feelings of inferiority. With Aunt Maggie, Cameron doesn't have to try to be someone else. She appreciates her for who she truly is. A quiet girl full of wisdom, who dares to dream big even when the world around her doesn't believe in her. Aunt Maggie's simple words of encouragement, "You have a great head, don't let anyone tell you otherwise," were always in Cameron's mind, giving her strength on the path to finding her own worth. Although Aunt Maggie is the only support that helps Cameron feel appreciated, those words of encouragement are not enough to completely ease the pain of facing indifference from his parents. Every time Lily wins a new award or performs a song, her family gathers to praise her with kind words. "My daughter is amazing, Lily," her mother often said, her eyes beaming with pride. Cameron, sitting quietly at the corner of the table, could only lower his head and look down, trying to hide the quietly falling tears. The feeling of being forgotten, as if she were just a shadow in a house full of laughter, made her heart increasingly heavy. Everything culminated when Cameron decided to share his dream, to go to college and pursue a career in management. At a family dinner, amid heated discussions about Lily's plans, Cameron summoned the courage to speak up. "I want to go to college too." The room suddenly fell silent, as if no one believed what they had just heard. But instead of encouragement, Cameron received loud laughter. "Honey, our family doesn't have money for that," her mother said, her voice full of concern but no less cold. "You're not as talented as Lily. It's best to get a job after graduating." Her mother's words cut deep into Cameron's heart like a knife. She angrily stood up and ran to her room, filled with a feeling of betrayal. She tried her best, achieving the highest score in the class, but all her efforts only resulted in indifference. That night, lying in bed, tears streaming down his face, Cameron promised himself, "If no one believes in you, you will prove your worth yourself. They will have to see who Cameron is." After that night, Cameron turned his pain and anger into motivation. She threw herself into her studies with more determination than ever. Every page, every assignment, and every exam became a step forward for her to prove her worth. Her excellent academic achievements not only maintained, but also rose to the top. She became the best student in the whole school, but those achievements were rarely mentioned by her family. In their eyes, everything she did pales in front of Lily's halo. However, a ray of hope appears when Aunt Maggie decides to help Cameron. One afternoon in the cozy little kitchen, her aunt took her hand and said, "Cameron, you have a talent that no one else has. I won't let you waste it." Those words, along with the savings her aunt gave her, were like a light that lit the way, helping Cameron see the future that she thought was closed. Cameron's heart was filled with gratitude, mixed with a rare feeling of happiness. With her aunt's help, she applied to college and was accepted into the management program she had always dreamed of. The day Cameron stepped foot on the university campus, she couldn't help but feel emotional. All the difficulties, indifference, and hurt are now just motivation to push her forward. With each step, Cameron seemed to affirm to himself, "This is a new beginning, and I won't stop." As Cameron begins to enjoy a promising college life, family conflicts resurface. Lily, the family's star, suddenly returns home, bringing with her an announcement that shocks the whole family. She has dropped out of school and is pregnant. This news spread quickly through the family, accompanied by chaos and disappointment. Cameron hears everything through emotional phone calls from Aunt Maggie, who keeps her updated on the situation. Even though Lily had been the cause of many of the hurts that Cameron had suffered, she could not feel happy about her sister's defeat. Instead, she felt sad and sorry for Lily, who now had to face the consequences of her wrong decisions. However, what hurt Cameron the most was how her parents reacted. Instead of accepting reality, they blamed circumstances and continued to protect Lily, while still disregarding Cameron's tireless efforts. The climax was when they asked Cameron to help Lily find a job at the restaurant where she was working as a manager. That suggestion made Cameron both angry and disappointed, but she remained calm and agreed to help her sister, not because of the family, but because of the little remaining love for Lily. Cameron watched Lily start her new job with eyes that were both observant and hopeful. Even though her heart is still full of hurt, she still hopes Lily learns from her mistakes and finds her own path. Cameron understands that forgiveness is not easy, but sometimes it is the first step to mending an already broken relationship. As time passed, Cameron continued to achieve outstanding success in his career. Her hard work and talent made the restaurant where she worked thrive, and not long after, she was appointed CEO of the entire restaurant chain. That success is not only a testament to Cameron's abilities, but also a silent response to those who once underestimated her. But when Cameron begins to enjoy the fruits of his labor, the past suddenly returns. One day, Cameron happened to see a video posted by Aunt Maggie on Facebook. In it, her parents are criticizing and belittling her in front of the whole family, denying the contributions she has silently made all these years. Those harsh words cut Cameron's heart like a knife, making her feel that all her forgiveness and efforts to heal were in vain. She sat silently, tears falling continuously, her heart filled with a feeling of betrayal. But this time, Cameron did not choose to stay silent. She decided to completely cut off all ties with her parents. No more financial support, no more calls trying to hold back. They chose this path for themselves, she told herself, heartbroken, but full of determination. Even though she knew that this would leave a void in her heart, Cameron understood that she had to do this to protect her self-worth and the things she had worked hard to build. Giving up her family is not what she wants, but she knows that sometimes to live a happy life, we must know how to give up the most toxic things. After the infamous video was posted, Cameron faced days filled with pain and loneliness. The betrayal from her own parents made her feel like she was drowning in sadness and anger. Calls and messages from them kept coming, sometimes begging for forgiveness, sometimes criticizing her for being heartless. Every word they said, every word they wrote was like a knife cutting deeper into the wound in Cameron's heart. But this time, she did not soften. They chose to take me lightly. Now it's my turn to choose to walk away, she told herself, determined not to turn back. The sun painted the vast sea with golden strokes, its warmth tenderly caressing my face as the cool water swayed gently beneath me. It was meant to be a perfect day at the beach, a brief escape from life's endless grind. Seeking solace in the ocean's vastness, I swam farther from the shore, eager to taste the freedom it seemed to promise. At first, everything felt serene. The rhythmic rise and fall of the waves lulled me into a trance, but tranquility swiftly gave way to terror. An unseen force clutched at my legs, dragging me deeper into the ocean's grasp. Panic surged through me like an electric current as I realized the undercurrent's strength far exceeded my expectations. I fought back with every ounce of strength I had, thrashing and clawing at the water, but the ocean was unyielding. My lungs burned, screaming for air, as sunlight, once warm and comforting, became a faint glimmer above me. Memories flooded my mind in those moments. Family laughter, unspoken words, dreams left unfulfilled. Regret weighed heavier on my soul than the crushing water around me. I longed desperately for one more breath, one more moment with those I loved. As my mouth opened in a futile attempt to scream, salty seawater filled my lungs, choking me as darkness began to creep in. The once gentle sway of the waves now felt like merciless hands, pulling me further into the abyss. My thoughts spiraled. Is this how it ends? Alone, lost in the beauty that had lured me here. A devastating realization gripped me. Yet, with my last shred of strength, I reached out, hoping someone, anyone, might pull me back to the world I was leaving behind. But the ocean's roar drowned out my silent pleas, its vast depths threatening to consume me. In those final moments, I understood the fragility of life. The sea, with its mesmerizing beauty and unforgiving might, held me captive, and all I could do was wish for a miracle. Years earlier, in the old town square, a tent adorned with dream catchers and cryptic symbols had caught my eye. Its vibrant presence drew me in. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of incense, and at the center of the dimly lit space sat Madame Ivana, a gypsy with eyes that seemed to pierce through one's soul. "You seek answers," she said before I could speak. Intrigued, I humored her with a nod. Her next words sent a chill through my spine. "Beware the water. It may be where your thread of life is cut." Laughing it off, I dismissed her as a storyteller, but her warning lingered in my mind. Every trickle of water from a faucet, every puddle on the road seemed to mock me. Months later, on a summer trip to Greece, I should have heeded her words. While diving into the clear waters of the Aegean, I was caught in a rip current, its pull merciless. Just as the darkness began to claim me, a local diver saved my life. From that day, water became my sworn enemy. I avoided pools, shunned the rain, and even sipped drinks with unease. Decades passed, and I built an empire, reaching heights unimaginable. Yet, despite conquering the stars, I couldn't face the water on my home planet. My wife, Elena, was my pillar of strength. She lovingly teased me about my fears, though she never pressured me to overcome them. Her one wish was a grand bathtub in our mansion, her gentle nudge toward facing my phobia. On our 50th wedding anniversary, she led me to that very tub, candles glowing and soft music playing. "It's time to face your demon," she whispered. Hesitant, I stepped in, the warm water wrapping around me. With Elena by my side, I felt my fear begin to dissolve. We laughed, reminiscing about our journey together. But as the night deepened, exhaustion took over. Elena left to fetch wine, and I drifted into a deep sleep. Unbeknownst to me, the old faucet malfunctioned, and the water level began to rise. By the time Elena returned, it was too late. The water, once comforting, had become my final embrace. From the beyond, I watched her heartbreak unfold. Grief, guilt, and sorrow consumed her, and I realized the gypsy's prophecy had come true. Not because it was fate, but because I had spent my life running from it. In trying to outsmart destiny, I had become its pawn. As the water claimed me, I understood the irony of my story. It wasn't the prophecy that sealed my fate, but my refusal to face it. Sometimes, in avoiding our fears, we unknowingly run straight into their grasp. In my last earthly moment, wrapped in the ocean's cold embrace, I learned that life's twists and turns cannot be avoided. They can only be faced.